Buongiorno from our home in Sicily. We have potential news that could slash the hopes and dreams of thousands of people who were hoping to seek their dual citizenship, double passports through the bloodline that dates back to 1861. Instead of being able to use, let's say, your great-grandparents, you can only now use your parents or grandparents as a line to get your dual citizenship.
It's a lot of stuff that came, but let me tell you one thing, E. This did not come just from the Department of the Interior, the Ministry of the Interior. This came right from the top, Maloney, at her directive. It's a law now, a law. It's not a Ministry of the Interior circulate, as they say. This is a law, and it's really going to have severe repercussions, not only in the United States, and as you see in the video later on, but especially for the South Americans involved.
Yeah. Alfred, this is send shockwaves. I know I've received a bunch of texts from some of our fans, some of our clients who are just devastated about this. But in issuing this law, the Interior Minister said that he's trying to strengthen migration. There's also been a lot of fraud that have happened in consulates. There are companies that are making money. They're making a business out of getting people passports. So it's been a big issue. Plus, we saw a huge rise in migration from Venezuela and other countries, a significant rise. So this is a hope of streamlining that as well.
You know, as I said in a previous video, again, Esther, the whole business of dual citizenship, juris sanguinis, is trapped in the overall topic of migration, okay, from Africa, from North Africa, okay? Now, all of a sudden, with the proliferation of what is considered to be the most liberal and soft laws in the European Union for dual citizenship, Italy is really catching up with the rest of the European Union in terms of requirements that they want.
Yeah, and you know, the minister kept saying that having your Italian passport, dual passport, is a serious thing, and they want people to take it seriously. And also, once you have your passport, you're supposed to now, with this decree or this law, make sure you use it every 25 years, whether that's renewing your passport, voting, paying taxes, and stuff like that. So they want those that have a dual passport to be active Italian members.
The requirements are a lot. It was far more than we're going to go into today. We're going to just talk about yesterday's decision, and in another video perhaps we'll talk about the changes that are still in the chute that haven't become law yet, E.
Now, Alfred, what happens if someone had already had, let's say, the train in motion and it was using a great-grandparent? What happens to that?
Well, the info I'll give you right now is current for right now, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be changed, because rest assured, this law that was passed on the 27th, that takes effect on the 27th, will be modified, okay? Like any rule, they'll put amendments on it, et cetera, et cetera. But if your application has already been accepted by a consulate, you don't have to worry. However, if you only have an appointment, but your application has not yet been accepted, you are affected by this law. So that's effectively going to cut out a lot of people, and I'm sure that this information is going to break their hearts. But honestly,
it's really sad.
Yeah, you've been victimized, all right? Could I just say one thing?
Yeah.
You've been victimized. You know why you've been victimized? You've been victimized not because of yourself at all, and it's profoundly unfair, but because of the fraud that has gone along with this whole issue of dual citizenship. And I can point directly at South America. I can point at Brazil, I can point at Argentina, I can point at Colombia, where they had an industry of submitting falsified documents, overwhelming the consuls down there. Do you realize that in Venice alone, according to the mayor said this last week, 80% of all civil cases in the courts in Venice are citizenship cases. It is literally brought the justice system in Italy to a screeching halt, okay? And it's fraud. In Naples, they busted up a ring of 13 individuals making millions of dollars, consisting of comunes, police, officials, all in cahoots, bringing in phony documents and giving them Italian citizen. So guess what? Maloney said, basta paura. That's it for now. And they're putting the screws in. Now, she stopped the migrants coming in from Africa pretty good. Now she's turning and putting at least a patch on the hole in the dike, but I'm quite sure, E, that there's going to be modifications to this. But as we're speaking today, as we're making this video, you can't go past 2 generations. So if it's you, that means your father and your grandfather. That's it. You're not going to be able.
What about the 1948 cases?
The pending 1948 cases, the pending ones that are already in a court of law, you're not going to have to worry. Again, I'm saying that, but that might change, okay?
Yeah.
But as of right now, you're not going to have to worry. What about if you file a 1948 case, right? And one judge wants to hook up this new law to the female. In other words, the female who was born before 48, okay? Or it goes back 3 generations. Let me even make that easier. I don't know. Okay, that's going to change. But right now, if you have a 48 case filed, right, you should be okay. And again, let me just say one other thing. This is not the same law that we have. The courts are not the same like we have in the United States, period, end of sentence. The judges have their own fiefdom, okay, so they can make whatever ruling that they want. But rest assured, this is not an administrative guidance type thing. This is a law that was passed, taking effect on the 27th. It's a very, very serious issue.
Look at this beautiful spring day. We'll go back to the programming in just a little bit, but first, if you are enjoying this, please consider subscribing to our channel and perhaps becoming a community member. We have 2 levels, $1.99 and $2.99. Just another way of supporting us. And we also have some behind the scenes videos that we share and photos. Okay, back to the program. Another part, Al, of this provision talked about the consulates now not doing dual citizenship and transferring all of it to Rome. Of course, there's going to be about a 1-year window where they're going to try and get that operational. But what's the theory? What was the reason behind that?
There's a lot of reasons. Number one, the overwhelming work that these poor people, the consular officials, have been subjected to for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay? Try to get an appointment in New York or Boston or L.A., Miami or Houston right now. 2-3 years out. Okay, and typically what happens is, because the economy in Italy has been so rotten, as consular officials in the United States have retired, those positions haven't been filled.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's number one. Caused by fraud. Again, let me say that. Fraud. Okay, fraud. That's the major reason. And to streamline it, the laws in Italy, to put them in line with the European Union laws, E, okay? Now, there are several countries that are begging for people, okay? But
Wait,
not,
before you move on.
But wait a minute, but not to the extent the way the Italians go.
Yeah, before you move on, one of the things that was written in the ministry's website, on the Italian government's website, is the focus they want to be for Italian consulates around the world to focus on Italian citizenship, Italian citizens living in those countries, instead of focusing so much on doing dual citizenship work. That was a very big issue that the Interior Minister made.
Doesn't that make sense? Isn't that
Absolutely.
what the American embassies worldwide?
Exactly.
They deal with the issues of American citizens in that foreign country. What's wrong with Italy wanting to deal with the responsibilities of Italian citizens in the United States?
Yeah.
So this is that's what they were designed for.
Now, another interesting part of this decree had to do with children of Italian citizens, Italian residents in another country and registering their child as an Italian before the age of 25.
Right, now there's a lot of bells and whistles, as you
Yeah.
said, put onto this thing. So now, going forward, if you have a kid in Italy, if you're an Italian citizen in the United States, and you better put that kid on record in the comune here, because it's got to be 25 years old, I believe it is. There are a lot of other rules too. For example, if you want to now one of the things that they kind of lightened up a bit, if you want to reclaim your Italian citizenship. Okay, during the 50s, and 60s, a lot of people went to the States, basically to avoid the draft, so to speak. Okay, they were young teenagers and their parents became citizens, so that would cut it off. Okay, so now they're giving them a way to come back. And that means you have to come here. I can't believe whether it's 2 or 3 years.
Oh, I have it right here. Furthermore, it is confirmed that anyone who has even just one Italian grandparent or who has been an Italian citizen can become a citizen after having resided in Italy for 3 years instead of the
so-
5 to 10. And I'm
Right.
reading right from the
So
Italian.
So what they're saying is the Disportia that's from Italy, that's
Yeah.
all over the world, that was born here in Italy, that understands the culture, that speaks Italian, we want you back.
Yeah.
So-
I want to say something, Al, through the years, because you have so many cases and so many of our clients are seeking their dual citizenship. And what a headache you guys are reporting this to be, and how long the wait at the consulates and how much paperwork, and you got to have the right paperwork, and every I needs to be dotted, every T, and how devastating this must be to many of you who were looking to use another line. My heart broke and is breaking for you guys.
Listen, there is a door open for you, okay, as of I speak to today, okay? There may be modifications, but as of today, if you really in your heart want to come to and relocate to Sicily, and you can financially prove that you're not going to be a drain on the Italian
Yeah.
system, okay, then you can really focus on the elective residency visa. But even that, they raised the minimum income requirements for a couple to the equivalent of 62,000 euro per year in passive income.
For both?
31,000 euro per person, 62,000 combined to come here. And then that would lead in a period of years into Italian citizenship. So if you want to come here, that's wide open right now, okay? Getting a job in Italy with a visa. You can get a visa here and come.
Studying.
But you have to leave after a couple of years. But getting a job, marrying an Italian will lead to citizenship. Okay? Marrying to an Italian would lead to citizenship. There are different ways, but right now, listen, what I would do if I had my heart broke today, I would do the Schengen shuffle, frankly. Because with your American passport, you can come for 90 days, and then you leave the EU for 90 days, but then you can come back again for 90 days. So in any 180-day period, you can really live in Italy for, 90 plus a 360-day period, you could live in Italy for 180 days. Now, what do people do for those other 3-month periods? Simple. They take a 50-minute trip over to Tunisia, which is a beautiful country. $400 a month, you can get a palace to rent. Large Italian community over there. And they stay there for 3 months. So if it's $400 a month times, and you rent it for 12 months a year, that's less than $5,000 a year, US, that you can have a backup place to live. Or you can go to Albania. It's another country. Or you can go to the UK if you want, because they're not in the European Union. So there are plenty other alternatives, number one. Number two, there are permanent visas available in other countries. Right now, the big hot country is Portugal. Okay, people are going to Portugal. They love it there too, by the way. Food is great. Cost of living is 37% cheaper than the United States. 37% cheaper. So they're going over there.
Now, I
And
wanna-
that would ultimately lead to citizenship too. All you care about is that you get, if you want, a red passport, basically.
Because then you're part of the European Union.
Right.
Like me, I'm
Right.
part of the European Union.
That's
That's
correct.
why I'm here.
But this
Now,
is,
I want to say something.
Yeah.
You know, a few videos ago, we spoke about, well, Elle talks about this all the time, about where are those in, let's say, the United States of America or Canada who are lobbying for us as Italians, or Alfred as an Italian, to make changes. And someone texted me and said, you know what, I like what Alfred said. Let's get together, let's get a group together, let's write letters, let's political action to see if some things can change. Who knows? Maybe if there are a lot of complaints, a lot of letters calling your congressmen and women, maybe some changes can be made.
well, can I give you my opinion on it?
Yeah, this was
All right.
your idea, honey.
This is my opinion, okay? The lobbying efforts in the United States, going from the United States to Italy, are flaccid. They're impotent. They're a joke. Okay, that's how I really feel.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's no juice here.
The Prime Minister is making these tough rules. Like we said, she campaigned on toughen immigration. In my opinion, she should be looking at what the Americans, the Canadians, you know, our clients who are watching this, bringing money here to Italy and the number, you know, the amount they would spend potentially. That's what I would be looking at.
Only if you're,
And by the way,
only
and
if
by
you're
the way,
investing in
let me
some
finish.
type of a golden
And let-
visa.
And let me finish.
Right. Go ahead.
All our friends watching, expats who have relocated, and I'm not going to name names, but you know who you are. We know at least 20 to 25. They are active members of the Sicilian community. They pay taxes. They have homes. They drive around. They go shopping. They are very active in festivals and so forth. So that's what I would be looking at.
As they should be.
Right.
As they should be. They're not cannoli eating, sash wearing, American parade, Italian parade, walking, guys that are waving and boasting how Italian they are.
But they're political.
What the hell have they done
Al, but-
for Italy?
We hope this information was useful. Hopefully you're not stuck in this, well, bomb that was left by the Minister of Interior. And listen, you know, the power of the people, get together with your Italian federations, your Italian groups, make your voices heard to them. Who knows, some changes could happen.
It'll be modified, number one, as I've said before. And number two, just remember, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. If it's in your destiny to be here in Italy full-time and to live here, it'll happen.
What's the
So
thing you
don't
always-
worry about something you can't control.
What do you always say? There's more ways to skin a cat,
There's
right?
more ways to skin a cat, for sure.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next Sunday, and who knows what we're going to talk about. Ciao.
Ciao.